The UK sending troops to Ukraine with the risk of potentially starting World War III. The United Kingdom is reportedly considering sending troops directly into Ukraine, a move that could drastically escalate tensions between NATO and Russia and potentially push the world closer to World War III. For over the past 2 years, the UK, the US, and other NATO countries have provided Ukraine with weapons, intelligence, and financial support. But boots on the ground? That's a whole different level. That's a line that, once crossed, could trigger a direct confrontation between Russia and NATO. The USA is part of NATO. I've always considered it almost the boss of NATO. You see, if British soldiers end up in Ukraine, Putin could definitely see it as a declaration of war. And not just by the UK, but from all of NATO. And with nuclear powers on both sides, that is not something anybody wants. And when Trump had the argument with Zelensky and kicked him out of the White House, this may have played into Putin's plans. Now remember, he's former KGB. He's a smart guy. Friday's drama in the Oval Office sparked a swift reaction from many world leaders, but not from Vladimir Putin. There's been no comment so far from the Kremlin leader. That tells me something. Let's go down the facts. President Trump says that he wants a quick ceasefire in Ukraine, but President Vladimir Putin of Russia appears to be in no rush. And the blow-up on Friday between Trump and Zelensky may give Russia's leader kind of ammunition he needs to prolong the fight. With the American alliance with Ukraine suffering a dramatic public rupture, President Putin seems even more likely to hold out for a deal on his terms, and could even be tempted to expand his push on the battlefield. And after this happened, Putin comes out for a news outlet and releases an interview saying, putting the word out there for the US and Trump to hear, that Russia has more minerals than Ukraine. Was that like an invitation to a deal? And in that case, if NATO goes to war, allying themselves with Ukraine, is Trump going to pull out of NATO? Could this actually be Putin signaling that he's ready to make a deal? Offering his resource as some agreement to avoid a larger war? You know what I mean? Trump has openly questioned the value of NATO recently, calling it obsolete and criticizing allies. He said that the allies don't pay their fair share. The big question is this: could Trump broker a deal with Putin? Cut NATO loose and leave Europe to fend for itself? Would that stop World War III? Or simply open a door and allow Putin to dominate Eastern Europe? He could do it with no resistance at all. Right now, the world is on the edge of their seat. Stay alert, because this isn't just about Ukraine anymore. It's about the future of the entire global power structure.